Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the amazing Sor Hands podcast, Q&A podcast. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wow. Back at it again. I don't really have anything planned for today. I'm actually not walking outside, but I am pacing around my apartment, like a crazy man. I think I might open the windows, actually. I was going to try to use this to get more exercise, but, it's kind of dark and it's raining now. So it'll be alright. Let me just open these windows. I don't have anything in particular I want to get into. Or actually, that's kind of a lie. I always have stuff I want to get into. I'm going to talk about my practice a little bit. We're going to go through the preamble and rigmarole of me explaining what we're doing here, and then we're going to maybe dive into one of my videos where I'll go through all the comments. I know I don't get to answer comments as much as I would like to these days. So this is my opportunity to do that. And even still, filming one of these a day, I feel like it's still not even nearly enough to actually answer everybody's comments. But it is better than before, where I would just answer like 2 comments a week or something like that. But the trade-off is that you get a lower quality thing that's unedited, and there's going to be a bunch of ums and likes and stammers, which is pretty common for me anyways. So, you know what you're getting into. This is the Sor Hands Amazing Q&A podcast. We say fuck here sometimes. We curse. Hey, fuck you. Hey, I'm walking you. Right? Okay. So, let's get into it. My practice today, I woke up pretty early, and this is your reminder. If you haven't practiced yet, maybe it's time that you should practice. But I worked on my scales. I have been doing the same scales that I've kind of always worked on forever, like ever since I was a teenager, which is just like 5 scale positions. People call them the cage system. I don't. I just call them like how scales work on guitar that aren't Segovia scales or long scales, like 3-octave scales. They're just 2-octave scales that stay mostly in one position. They don't ever shift more than 1 fret for an entire like scale position. I worked on those, and like I know when I say that it sounds like a little sophomoric, like the kind of scales that I'm working on. It's like, yeah, those are the scales I worked on when I was like a teen, when I was learning how to shred, like those and like 3-note per string scales. Like, aren't you like, isn't it time to work on like Segovia scales? I work on Segovia scales sometimes too, but usually just in like a few keys, because I don't really see like that much of a point of working on them. Because I don't know, scales for me, the whole point of them is to be able to improvise with them. And to like make up chords with them. Random chords, guys. Jacob Coyer reference. My last Jacob Coyer videos. They've been popping off. And as per usual, when a video of mine pops off, the dogs come out. Which they actually haven't been that bad. The biggest complaint is just like, I called Jacob's like apparently simple chord progression like random. And everybody loves just, coming in and feeling superior and just being like, oh, it's actually not that complicated. And it's like, okay, cool. I don't know. I agree. Like, when I listen to it, it's like, yeah, like, I know. Like, I was kind of just, maybe I was just amazed by Jacob Coyer's, like, sick freaking spread out loose playing and his electric piano sound, that it just sounded like more to me. Which it was more. Like, he was playing a lot of stuff. Like, I know that you guys are commenting 145, but he's playing a lot of notes. And, like, it's a lot to follow along with. I'm just a humble classical guitarist. What do you want? Not humble. Measly? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anywho, I'm not going to talk about that today. But yeah, so, like, the whole point of practicing scales for me is to be able to improvise with them. So with these scale patterns or scale positions, I like to connect them with thirds, like using pairs of strings, and like sixths and all kinds of intervals using pairs of strings. And also using like all 6 strings and just seeing all the different like chords that I can like reasonably fit like my hand around. you know, I don't really need to like conceptualize every note and how like every note that I'm playing and like what chord symbol I would use to describe that chord. It's just sort of a texture, and that texture moves to other textures. And I think that's a fine way to go about things. If I wanted to get specific with knowing exactly every note I play, first, like I'll make something up and then I'll write it out in sheet music, and then you can truly see how everything moves. I do a lot of that. I do a lot of composing. Or not a lot. I do some composing. Not much, actually. I haven't in a while. But I have some music that I've been working on. Anyways, yeah, so a lot of scales. I'm going to make a scale update pretty soon, and I'm actually really happy with my progress. I know that in a lot of my videos I seem like pretty down about my progress, but I actually feel this past month has been really good for my scales, and I have like a new command with my right hand that I just didn't have before. Like I can bang out like, or bust out my rest stroke scales like pretty quickly. Like I got like a pretty clean 110 today, which I've been working with getting a clean 110, and it feels like today was the first time I really like got it, and it felt like kind of easy. And then I went to 120, and that's like the new 110, you know. So I'm hoping that like, I don't know, maybe every month or so, I can like move up my clean rest stroke maximum by like 5 BPM or so. So I'm hoping in the next few like update videos I'll be at like a clean 120. And honestly, once you're at a clean 120, I mean, your life is a lot better than a clean 90 or something like that. Like a clean 120 is pretty quick. That's not a bad scale. It's not a bad rest stroke, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, I'm getting like out of breath just like walking around my apartment. I need to get in better shape. I'm sorry. I need some water. Yeah, anyways, that was that. I've worked a bit on 997, which is cool. That's coming along. Really, really paying attention to note durations, holding everything out for as long as it should be held out. And that's been going well. It's like the accuracy I'm gaining from that, I feel, is carrying over to my other pieces, and I feel pretty good about it. I'm not going to have it done by the end of the year, or like just played through by the end of the year, because that's coming up pretty soon. But that is going to be the fugue that I work on throughout this upcoming year. And I'm also, of course, going to keep up with 1001, the fugue at the very least, but also the adagio. And I think that'll be a good mix of stuff, a mix of Bach. And I'll go through the other movements in 997 as well. Yeah, that pretty much covers everything. How's your practice coming along? I know that not many people know about this podcast. It seems like some people do. Oops, this thing's still going? Yeah, we're going. I don't know. Some person commented on the last one. It was about the Jacob Coyer stuff, which I'm surprised that you were able to find this as well as have the Jacob Coyer. Like as well as you watch that also. It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of Sor Hands content. You should maybe, I don't know. That's probably not recommended. But yeah. But yeah, cool. All right. I don't know if this one will go on too long. This one might be shorter than the last one even. But I just want to go into a video, and we're going to do that now. And oh my god, I've gone up... How many subscribers have I gone up today? Guys, I don't mean to brag over here. These freaking Jacob Coyer videos, man, they're so lucrative. Oh my god. Let me see what my lifetime is. No. Okay, yeah. Wait, what? Whoa. Oh my god, at the start of the day, before I uploaded that Jacob Coyer video, I had 2,569, and now I have 2,621. Did I go up 70 subscribers from that Jacob Coyer video? Holy shit. That's crazy. What? Oh my god. Oh, new fan subbed. That's how nice. Man, that's so great. Yeah, there's actually a lot less hate than I was expecting on that. People seem to like me, and they hate Jacob. I'm just kidding. Oh man, I need to talk about like maybe my relationship with Jacob Coyer. I was like obsessed with his In My Bedroom. I think it's called that, In My Bedroom album. I listen to it every day. Dude, that freaking Flintstones acapella, the solo that he does with melodica, like blew my mind. Like it's so bebop and so crazy. There's tons of stuff about Jacob Coyer that I respect and love. His music's great. Like I think In My Bones, or it might just be called Bones. I really like that song. Yeah, he has a lot of great music. I do not dislike him at all. Like I'm just kind of making fun of him in that video, which like is totally fine. Like, you know, I make fun of myself all the time. It's just silly. It's just silly, fun stuff. I don't think I was being like hateful or anything like that. But anyways, all right, let's get into this comment. I can't believe I've gone up like 70 subscribers today. That's freaking nuts. That's definitely the most I've ever gone up, I think. But all right, let's get into it. So I think the video I'm going to get into today, which, sorry, I want to read a couple of them to you. So of course we have classical guitarist reacts to Jacob Coyer's wacky musical ideas. We'll go into that one later. But are you stuck in an intermediate rut? It has 1,000 views. It has like 30 comments, and I barely replied to any of them. I think that'll be a good video to probably go into today. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, I'm like having trouble breathing. There might be like a gas leak in my apartment or something. I want to be outside. Oh well. Okay, let's get into some of these comments. I know they're good ones. We'll start off with a quote. Why not? From Max Akin. I'm convinced that talent doesn't exist. Talent is the will to do something. I bet a man who dreams all of a sudden he wants to eat a lobster, he has the talent to do it. That's Jacques Brel. I'm sorry, I can't read. Famous French singer. Yeah, so this video was just about my ideas on talent and how I think, and I'm saying this as like a non-psychologist, dipshit, 26-year-old idiot, C student. I'm saying this as that kind of person. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe watch a different podcast or listen to a different podcast, rather. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. But anyway, like my ideas on talent. I think that talent is like sort of real in a way, but I think the way it manifests in people is that you have an interest in thinking about something. And so the example that I gave in this video, like imagine two kids in a math class, right? And one kid, everything he learned, he was just enamored by it. And after the math class, like all he can do is just think about the math concepts, and he's like making his own in his head. And he's just getting really comfortable with like the concepts, right? And then his peer, the other student, is just like, you know, sitting in class, not caring, just like sort of sitting there, and like he's still like able to do it. Like they both have the same like cognitive ability. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. They have the same smarts. They're both like smarty pants kids. They can both do math fine. But as long as one's thinking about it more, that kid's just gonna excel faster because he's literally practicing math in his head. It's called visualization, and something that's really like or something that you should like really appreciate with visualization is that nobody actually sees you do it. So you can almost give the illusion that you just have a natural instinct for whatever it is you're visualizing, because nobody knows that you're visualizing, you know, like nobody can see you do that. And it's the same thing with music, like guitar. Like you could never practice and visualize, and you would just seem really talented. Like, and I think a lot of us, like, we don't do it in like a conniving kind of way where we're trying to make people think that we're better, or like make people think that we have like these gifts. Like we're not doing that. But I think some people are just like, their brains just get sort of occupied with the guitar, and like I know, at least for me, when I was a kid, like I was always thinking about the guitar. Long before I ever played it or even touched one. Like I would hear guitar music, like mainly like Green Day, like power chords. I've been making fun of Green Day a lot. They were my first favorite band. Um, I learned a lot of their music. So, I feel like I have some right to make fun of them. But yeah, no, some people will, or what am I saying? Like, I would daydream about the guitar, okay? I would think about it a lot. And I would imagine, like, how you would play it. Even though I didn't have any idea how a guitar was played, I would just try to picture how it was played. And then I grabbed a guitar for the first time, and my dad was like blown away because I was able to pick up Sweet Child of Mine like really fast, and probably like another kid my age who's never thought about guitar. Like if they tried learning it, they just wouldn't appear to be like naturally gifted for the guitar. But it's not because my hands are better or because I'm like smarter. God knows it's not because I'm smarter. But I just have a sort of innate like fascination with the guitar, and I just really wanted to learn it, and in turn I like thought about it a lot. That's what talent is, in my opinion. So yeah, the lobster, like that pretty much goes with what I was saying. I agree. Oh man, why am I so out of breath? I like walked the first one. Maybe I don't know, maybe I was breathing this heavy the first time. I might be talking more than usual too. Let's see. I never knew Bredham Guilfoyle played guitar so well. You're referring to me. I've been compared to this guy more than once. I think he's from, I don't even know what show he's from. He does look a lot like me. He's not like the most handsome guy, but he's like all right. He's honestly kind of a more handsome version of me, in my opinion. Please post in the comments how that's not true and I'm the more handsome one. Thank you. Okay, this is a good one. This is from friend of the channel, actually. Me, EQ Bree. You are a lute player, I believe, from the Discord. That's where I see you most. Yeah. And you said, I agree with most of what you were saying. Well, thank you. I mostly like you, then. After all that, why have you not... Oh, and I spoke about, like, how I've been practicing... like doing this YouTube thing for like 14 or 15 months or so. And I said, like having a teacher, like obviously it'll excel your playing. And even in my own practice, like I know there are things that have taken me like 6 months to fix, that with a teacher could have taken like 2 weeks. Like one lesson and then the next lesson where they like see a mistake happening again and then they just fix it. And that's just kind of the beauty of like having an advanced teacher as an advanced like guitarist. Like they just kind of force you to fix stuff that you should have fixed yourself, but you just don't because you're an idiot. So you raise a good point here. Why have you not been working with a teacher regularly for the past 14 months or whatever, if you know it should benefit you? Or at least you didn't mention taking regular lessons with anybody. I know you're going for a master's, but even while not in school. That's a great point, me Cubery. So just to give you some history with me, I graduated with my degree when I was 22, and right now I'm 26, going on 27 in April, so that's coming up actually. So that means that I've been going almost, I've been going like 4 years, like almost like, yeah, it'll be like almost 4 years. I think the math works out there, without a teacher, which is pretty long. I agree. I probably should have gotten a teacher, like previously or like before like this point, and it probably would benefit me to get one now because I've put in a lot of work myself. Now, let me think what I'm trying to say here. I think that there's something to going through periods without a teacher. My own students don't get any ideas now, okay? Yeah, I'm just kidding. You got to do what's right for you, and I accept that, of course. But I've gone through, like, basically since I was 11, I've had guitar teachers, and I had my classical teacher, for like 4 years. I had 2 classical teachers in college. And I don't know, I just, it was my first time being without lessons in a long time, and I had a lot of work that I needed to do. Like, my teacher left me with a lot of music that he thought that I should learn, like Capriccio Arabe and the Sor Mozart variations, like all that stuff. And yeah, I don't know. If I'm being honest, when I got out of my degree, I kind of took maybe 2 years off. Yeah, I took like 2 years off after my degree, or more like a year and a half actually. And I really just played jazz, and that's when I really got into the weeds with jazz and like started transcribing Charlie Parker and learning like tunes and stuff. I had studied jazz previously in high school. I took like jazz classes at a separate like school that was bused there, and doing that I missed out on a ton of education, which was great. I hate education. I love music though. But yeah, where am I going with that? Yeah, I kind of studied jazz for a while. And then, after coming back to classical, I sort of lost a lot of chops that I had, like, whatever chops I had at this time anyways. I've gotten a lot better since then, I think. I know that I'm bleak with, like, my progress, but I know I've made a ton of progress since the beginning. Yeah, so... Oh man, maybe my nose is stuffed or something. That's why I'm like... Hey, guys, I'm like fighting for my life. I'm like so out of breath right now. I have no idea why. It was just when I turned on the thing. I'm going to sit down in my practice chair. You guys know where I am. But yeah, where was I going with that? Fuck, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm all distracted. I'm like suffocating over here. I went, so I started studying jazz. I went back into classical. I had all these pieces that my teacher assigned me that I hadn't looked at for a year and a half. So I kind of had a lot of work to do on my own anyways. And that sort of led me to like the beginning of Sor Hands, when I had a lot of this music sort of worked on. And that's when I started the Morel Sonatina and a lot of BWV 1001 and the Garotto piece that I was working on at the time, which was like a pretty big piece. I haven't worked on that in a long time. I need to. So I don't know. I just kind of felt like I had a lot of work to do on my own, which this is like not very articulate. I'm really sorry about this. That's another thing that this is going to help me with when I do actual chair segments. I think I'm probably going to answer this question like for real in the chair when I film tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'm going to remember all the greatest points that I made in this podcast, and I will bring it to the chair, and it'll be condensed into a 10-minute chair section. Right now you're getting a podcast, so this is your question. I just had a lot of work to do, and I didn't feel like I needed a teacher, and I feel like I need one now. And it's actually like not bad, because I know really well like everything that I want in a teacher now. And I feel that when I graduated and like even like a year and a half ago, like I really didn't know what I wanted in a teacher, and I didn't even fully understand what my deficits were in my playing. Like I have a really good idea now. Like something that I would like to focus on a lot is first like technique. Like I think my technical ability needs like a lot of work. Rest stroke, free stroke scales, arpeggios, all that stuff. Playing cleanly. Like I feel like every 10th note I play is just like flubbed, which is just unacceptable. And I'm sure there are tons of insights that I'll get from like a very high level teacher that I just wouldn't be able to put my finger on my own anyways. But I have a pretty good idea of like what I want in a teacher. And separately, which this would have been the case regardless if I had like a teacher separate from university anyways, I feel very prepared for my auditions that are coming up. Like way more prepared for anything in my life. Yeah. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping I seem like an asset to whatever universities I apply to, which I've applied to 3 of them now. We'll talk about them later. I don't want to give them out because I don't want to, I don't want to overflow their school. I want the scholarships for myself. I don't want all the Sor Hands people coming. I'm just kidding. That like totally wouldn't happen. But I want to keep it private for now. But yeah, I feel very prepared, and there's something really nice about that. Like, I feel like I'm gonna go in there and just like crush my fugue to the best of my ability. And that's cool. I'm gonna drink some water now. But, long story short, I'll answer this question legit later on in an actual practice log. But yeah, you're right. But also, I kind of needed some time to work on stuff on my own. And now I have, and I'm ready to have a teacher. And I feel that I'm going to get huge value from any teacher that I pick. Just because I'm just so ready to soak stuff up. Because I've been on my own for so long. I really feel that after this master's degree, I'm just going to be on like a whole other level. Which is really cool to think about. Yeah. All right, let's get into more questions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to harp on that one for so long. Okay. Let's see. This one's from Kyle Zoe. My favorite piece of advice from you so far is small hands. Fine, buy a 3/4 size guitar. Yeah, you can do that. Never admit that you have small hands, though. Just don't do that. Just deal with a normal size guitar. Don't let them know that your hands are small. Never let them know. Let's see here. Any good questions? It's funny. I injured... Oh, so this one's from Scott. Scott Ripley. What's up? Friend of the channel. Yeah, public subscriber. Thank you, man. You said, it's funny. I injured myself. That's not funny. What are you talking about? I injured myself my junior year while studying guitar performance. I spent an entire semester doing nothing but visualizing. You're a fucking madman, dude. Are you kidding me? You spent a semester just visualizing? What are you, a fucking monk? Dude, I can barely spend like an hour or like a few minutes visualizing. God, I should probably work on that. I hate visualizing. It's like I tell everybody to do it just because I know it's good advice, but I don't, man, like at all. I love just playing guitar. Like, play guitar to learn guitar. That's what I do. But yeah, no, that's amazing. Visualizing, bro. It kept me where I was at. No degradation. Degradation? Yeah, it probably made you better. I don't know, I'd imagine. Probably made you really fluent on the fretboard. At least, like, thinking through it, I would imagine. That's cool. Good for you. All right, this one's from Hot Butterwell, another friend of the channel. Yeah. Speaking of returning to fundamentals, I just resumed taking lessons with a PhD level teacher after a 3-year hiatus. Wow, congrats, man. That's great. And what she has me focusing on is warm-ups, where I focus on the placement of a single finger of each of the strings in sequence, then plucking slowly while paying close attention to everything happening with my physiology. Wow. Yeah. That's great stuff. That's honestly stuff that I should probably work on. That it's really important. Like, I know it's fun to just like warm up and then get your scales fast and just like push yourself to your limits. But I sort of equate it to like, I don't know, when you're running like full speed and even like half speed or just like cruising, like if you're going fast enough to where you're relying on any sort of like muscle memory, I feel personally, I don't know shit about shit, keep that in mind. I feel personally that there's going to be some, not to use this word again, degradation of like the neural pathways. I know, I'm breaking out some vocab for you. I don't know what it means either, but I hear it. Because you're not able to like actively focus on it, right? So you're just sort of like letting it run in the background, and I feel that over time it is just going to get less and less precise, and it's going to reach that slow enough to where you might not even realize that it's happening, and all of a sudden you are old and you suck at guitar. And it's because you never did what you're doing right now, which is slow it down and actually look at the individual or the actual slow movements and focusing on your physiology too. I think that's awesome. Like when I'm playing scales at 120 BPM, is my leg supposed to hurt? Like I'm asking you guys that. Is that like a normal thing? Is my quad supposed to be like cramping, like I'm doing leg curls or something, or like extensions. I mean, sorry, don't rip me apart. Like probably not, right? It's probably not supposed to feel that way. So yeah, that's great stuff, man. Let's see here. Doing this exercise for 10 to 20 minutes before doing anything else. I would have thought this insane when I was 10 years old. Yeah, definitely. But at age way too old, with 16 years of classical guitar lessons behind me, this seems about right. Yeah, no, I definitely get why you would not like that as a kid. Like, especially, like, getting guitar lessons. Like, I feel there's a lot of pressure for teachers sometimes to, like, get results. And you want your students to get results fast to, like, you know, first to have your students, like, advance, and that's cool. But also to, like, legitimize yourself as a teacher. It's like, I can make you learn super fast. But, you know, a lot of these lessons, they're cumulative. And sometimes you do need to just spend a lesson on, like just those little things. Like, why is your leg cramping like that when you play a scale a little too fast? Like, we need to just spend all day addressing that. And, yeah, even what I would suggest beyond that, like, I don't know how many times you practice a day, but that kind of practice where you're just looking at the fine movements, I think it pays dividends to do that, like, multiple times a day, especially if it's so short, like 10 or 20 minutes. Like 3 10-minute sessions a day where you do that, or maybe 2 20-minute ones, because I feel like you need to warm up a little bit to truly get the benefits of that kind of work. Like, if you're doing it cold, I feel that there's some, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't quite, you don't quite get everything out of it that you could. So yeah, you know, 2, 3 times a day if you have the time. If you're a fucking loser like me, with an hour to spend on just sitting in a chair doing nothing, just thinking about how your body feels, that's a great use of time, and it'll probably make you better. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, man. Sorry. God, this is like the out of breath podcast. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm out of breath. I should probably stop mentioning it for in case I don't sound out of breath. Somebody replied to your comment. Let's see. He said, "You're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't do that. You're waiting." No, I'm just kidding. They didn't say that. Would you mind elaborating a bit on exactly what you do for these warm-ups? What are you looking for? I can imagine what you're doing, and it's just doing, like, an IM, maybe, like, just like, you know, both, like, whatever, or maybe an arpeggio or something, and just going, like, insanely slow, and just thinking about every single step. And maybe doing it planting your fingers, which I think can be useful at a slow speed. You know, I've heard, like, there are 2, like, arguments, I guess, or 2 schools of finger placement, where, like, planting always, which is something that I've kind of done a lot, and then more recently I've been experimenting with, like, swinging into the stroke, because it makes sense for, like, a greater attack, and, like, more, like, especially for rest stroke, at least, I think about the swinging now. But yeah, Hot Butterwell, please elaborate. Give us some of that residual PhD student lessons, would you? Thank you. Okay, this one is from Josh, Forbes Guitar. It's funny. Dude, I'm hilarious today. Everything's funny. It's funny you bring up chess and talent. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. You're friend of the channel, Josh, here. We're just poking fun. If I can make fun of Jacob, I'll make fun of Josh, guys. I was reading a lot of books. Bullshit. You haven't read shit. Shut up. I was reading a lot of books about talent. Why? Because you don't have any? Ooh, what's up? Dude, the roast of Josh. I'm sorry, Josh. And there's a man famous for believing geniuses are made, not born. I hope he is famous for other stuff. That sounds lame. His name was Laszlo Polgar. He married a woman for basically the sole purpose of doing this experiment. Dude, what a badass. No, that's not badass. Don't... Oh, God, I can't edit anything out. I have to be careful what I say. All right. That's like an issue. Like, I'm so used to just saying anything at all and then editing out basically everything in the main show that I kind of need to speak with more of a filter in this thing. because I don't want to say anything too horrible. He was an avid chess player, so he wanted to show that he could raise children to be chess grandmasters, and that talent had nothing to do with it. And that's why he married a woman. Just to do this, just to spite the world. That's awesome. So he ended up having 3 girls, one of which is regarded as the greatest female chess player of all time, and the other 2 also became world-class chess grandmasters. What is obviously most important for growth is your environment, time spent practicing, and quality of practice. Absolutely. Straight up facts. And what a crazy story that is. That's, I don't know. Can I comment on that? I mean, that's what I'm going to do to my kids. Like, my kids are going to know that they can do whatever they want. They can pursue any passion they want. But if they're not practicing their guitar that I got them, and I come home and, like, I hear them just not practicing, like playing Fortnite, playing Minecraft, doing some other bullshit, they'll know that I will be deeply disappointed in them, and my love is very conditional. And if I have one kid that's practicing guitar, and I can tell he's, like, practicing, or he or she, it could be either, but I can tell that they're practicing a lot, I will love them more. I promise you that, and I hope, yeah, okay. I'm joking. I'm just talking shit right now. I'm being a shithead. That's what I'm doing. That's what this podcast is for. Yeah. All right, moving on. Any other good comments here? Let's see. Oh man. All right, so this one's Steven Bornfeld, longtime friend of the channel. How's it going, man? Excellent practice log. Thank you. You're always so kind, man. I love all your comments. I know I don't always get to reply, but I read them all, and you always have great stuff to say. Though sometimes it's funny. I watch you get in, like, arguments with other people, and like I tend to avoid any sort of, like, argument and comments just because it's so not worth it. Like, if somebody's saying, like, just something like what's the word, offensive, but not like offensive, but like they're on the offense and, like, trying to hurt you, it's just like, I don't know. I don't have time for that. And then especially, there's some videos that just attracts that kind of attention anyways. I just stay away. But that's what I have this podcast for, so I can just speak it out loud, because I do not want to type it all. Excellent practice log. You're too kind. Listening to you dispensing knowledge, it sounds really off the cuff. Yeah, it sure does. But I suspect you really prepare. I was going to make a joke about how I don't prepare, and, like, I'm just, like, making shit up on the spot. I guess I do prepare in a sense, but what you're witnessing, like, in the practice log, is really just me sort of preparing and, like, or not preparing, but, like, formulating my ideas. Because a lot of times, like, I'll have a thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'll sort of ramble about it, like, on my own for a while. And that's really what I'm doing here. Like, I'm kind of just rambling on my own. I'm just recording it now and uploading it as a podcast. But I've been doing this for a while. So that's like pretty much all the preparation that I do. Like, it's not, like, super extensive, but I do rely on, like, a foundation of knowledge in the guitar. And that's something that my degree has given me. All the research I've done, and also just my own, like, anecdotal trial and error, getting to my level on guitar. I'm drawing a lot from that. So there are knowledge bases that I'm drawing from. Now, like, as far as academic, like, videos go, mine is not that at all. And I have, like, no sources for anything really, and I am just sort of talking out of my ass. But I think my playing, at least, is some sort of, like, credential to that. I do think a lot about guitar, and I will never say something that I think at the time is bullshit. Everything I'm saying, when I'm saying it, I believe it. And there are some things I've said that, like, I look at it, like, a week later, and it's like, oh, I don't believe that anymore. And I guess that's sort of the the benefit of, like, watching every video as they come out, because you sort of get to grow with me, because I'll tell you everything that I'm thinking, So now you get the benefit of like having your thoughts on guitar evolve without having to do any actual work other than just watching my video. Because I have to actually do work to evolve my thought. You can just sit back and watch what I'm thinking, and I'll just tell you every day, basically. So, you know, that's like the service that I'm providing. Now, like how great or how like useful the knowledge is that I'm giving, like, you know, you can determine that, and you can try applying it to your own practice. Like I'm using everything that I say though, and I've gotten to my level. I feel like I'm pretty good, like especially for where I'm at. Like I don't even have a master's degree yet, and I feel like I can like play my fugue decently well. I have a nice little recording of that on Instagram if you want to check it out. But I feel like it's, you know, it's like a fugue. It's like at a master's degree level, I'd say, maybe like halfway through a master's degree at like a medium to low end school. Yeah. So, you know, I prepare a little bit, but it's a lot of trial and error with everything. That's all. But thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching. You've been a long-time fan, supporter. The word fan's weird. Sorry. I didn't mean to call you that. Sorry, Steven. Long-time supporter. Yeah. All right. This one, we'll keep going a little bit longer. I'm starting to lose my breath. Rich Guitar, you said good advice. Thank you. Not great advice? What the hell, man? I'm just kidding. Okay, the Elder Skatesman. There is no intermediate rut. Any committed guitarist... I'll actually leave it on this one, because this is a great one. There is no intermediate rut. Any committed guitarist or any artist in any field knows that there is no end goal, and intermediacy is a permanent state. And Steven, you actually replied and said, that is both sad and epic at the same time. And it really is. I like to think that my life is both sad and epic at the same time. So, yeah. Okay. Well, that was the video, or that was the podcast where I go over a lot of the comments now on the Are You Stuck in an Intermediate Rut video. That was a really nice one. All the comments on there were great, and it was all just like, you know, the people who support me regularly. None of the dogs were out on that one. On the new Jacob Coyer one, the dogs are definitely going to be out. But so far, they're not as out as they have been. But it only has like 2,000 views right now. I'm waiting for, if that video got like 10,000 views, I can only imagine the amount of like dog comments would be coming out on that thing. It would be like unmanageable. Because it's already a little unmanageable. Like, let's see how many comments it has now. Let's see here. This is still recording, right? Hold on. Okay, let's see how many comments it has. 45, and I haven't really replied to any of them, so I have a lot to sift through. It's a lot. It's a lot for one day, but you know, it's cool. We're at 2,626 subscribers as of, what day is this? I don't even know. December 18th. There we go. Yeah. Okay, well, I still have 4 students to teach today. I've taught 4 or 5 so far. Today is a big teaching day for me. But the rest of my week's gonna be pretty easy after this. So, you know, I need to do that. It's been fun. It's been fun talking to you again. And I know I've been doing these like every day. Like, these won't be an everyday thing. They'll just be kind of a whenever thing. There's no upload schedule. But you know, I'll do these whenever. So it's good to just kind of vent and answer questions and talk about whatever's on my mind and all that stuff. So, I'll give an outro. If you made it this far, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. I only have 9 subscribers on this channel right now. Do you want to be my 10th? Do it. That's all the outro you need. All right. I'll see you in the next one.